Good morning, everybody. My name is Janelle Stevens, and I'm just so happy to be here with you. Good morning to my folks in Boston. Good morning to my folks in the South Shore, and good morning to my folks in Randolph. Randolph is my hometown, so I'm here today. I'm so excited to be able to show off a little bit about my hometown. A little bit about me. My name is Janelle Stevens. I'm a resident of this beautiful town of Randolph. I'm also a real estate agent with Cardwell Banker. And one of the things that this is going to be my second interview, because one of the things that I noticed is that as I was going around and meeting people in Randolph, there were so many talented people and so many things that Randolph had to offer. And I was like, how do I get this information out? So I decided to start doing these interviews. So I'm going to show off a little bit about my wonderful town of Randolph. And I know communities out there have the same, but I'm just so happy to be able to do this today. So today I have my friend. I'm so happy to be able to introduce her. So a little bit about her. Christine is someone I met a couple of years ago. And when I met her, we automatically clicked. I later learned she was the family and community engagement coordinator at the high school, at the time. And when I popped in there, she was so open and every time, so I would reach out to her. I started reaching out to her more, and she was always so willing. So her heart was there for the community. Her heart was there for the kids. And then she invited me to this program called Remembering Mom. And I am telling you, the care and just the heart that went into that program, it stayed with me. So when Christine told me she got her certificate as a grief specialist, I was like, this was perfect for her, because she is that person that gives to others. And this is not just about the Remembering Mom program. This is also about grief in all type of areas. So I'm gonna let Christine tell you a little bit more about her. So Christine, how are you doing today?
Hi, Janelle. Thank you for having me on your program. I'm so appreciative of it. You also are someone who has a lot of heart and love for the community, and I am so grateful to be connected to you and to call you a friend. I'm doing great today. What can we say? It is 2020 January, and we're all healthy and strong, so much to be grateful for.
Yes, we are. Let's not repeat 2021.
2021. Yes.
So I want to know, I already know, but I'd love for the folks to know a little bit about who is Christine, not about why we're here today, but just a little bit about you as an individual, as a person. Tell me a little bit about you.
All right, thank you for that. So I am Christine Tangishaka. I am a resident of Randolph. Like Janelle, I've been here for almost a decade and a half, and I love this town. I have a love for the people and a heart for it. I am an immigrant from Liberia. I came to the States during the Liberian Civil War and have been here ever since. I went to UMass Amherst, and then to Boston University School of Public Health. I worked in healthcare for the first part of my career for over a decade and a half as a healthcare administrator at Brigham and Women's. And then I pivoted, spent some time at home, and then joined the Randolph Public Schools District as their family and community engagement coordinator. That opportunity came to a close middle of last year. And I took the time to pivot in the middle of the pandemic and say, what would I like to put my energy and time to next? And as Janelle knows, I had already been working on a program around grief support for mothers who had lost their mothers. And so I proceeded to go the next step, which is pursuing certification in the area of grief support specialty.
That is awesome. And I know, I'm sure others are out there. Grief support is not just about losing someone, it's about so much more. So Let me ask you this. What made you decide to start grief support work, and how long, well, you said a little bit already, but how long have you been doing it?
Okay, so I lost my father when I was 11, suddenly, and there are many things that happen over the course of the time, but you don't quite understand. You just know that person is no longer there. And so I was grateful to have my family, my mom, my siblings, and, we walked through that together. But then in 2003, very shortly after my wedding and having my first child, I lost my mother also very suddenly. And that is a situation that, as you know, Janelle, sort of no one can prepare you for.
No.
So a few years later, many years later, I dealt with that grief as best as I could and sought counseling actually. Um, uh, in 2017, I just felt, something in my heart around taking some time to remember my mom and pull into a space all those things that I loved about her, all the things that she taught me to help me sort of progress on. I have been a mom myself now 3 times. So I looked around Massachusetts, and there are many motherless daughters groups around the country, and one or two here, but not specifically for women of color. And not really for the agenda that I was looking for. So I created my own program. And that was where Remember Our Mothers came in, and have been doing that program now since 2017, every year. And I found not only was it rewarding and something that I am that I enjoy doing and being able to serve women in that way, but also that I saw the great need for it, that many times as women, we don't take the time and energy to focus on ourselves when we lose someone. We just sort of rally and keep going. And that sometimes is not all that healthy.
You know what? I think that is so important because a lot of times we as women, as a minority group, we don't seek counseling because we're like, what is that going to do for us? So we don't understand the importance of it. So, so give me, so because people don't understand, what I'd like for you to do is to explain to the community, why is a grief support something that is good for us as a community?
So I would say grief support is important for us as a community because, one, we actually encounter quite a few events and opportunities and challenges that actually bring up, those emotions that are tied to grief. Grief isn't just associated with losing someone to death. It can be associated with losing any relationship that it feels like there isn't an opportunity to reconcile. Right, so broken relationships. It can be tied to losing your job. It can be tied to losing or a major change in our life situations. And because we're often just so busy trying to get on with life, making sure that we keep things on status quo for our children and our spouses and our families, we don't take the time to actually go and seek this support. So it's really important because those emotions that are tied to grief sometimes will end up trickling into all the other areas of our life in a negative way. And then those relationships are impacted and we're not quite certain why. So that's why it's important.
So if I could just add one more thing, that I think you mentioned a lot of things, but I know around COVID and everything that's happening, I know we have lost of our time, lost of our ability to just go and just be where we want. Some people, they love it. They love being inside. Me personally, I already told you, I need to talk with you because I love being out. I love being, engaging with people. And so that's a loss as well. So if
absolutely
anyone that's feeling that kind of loss, that's something that she'll help you with as well. What exactly would you say when people call you, what can they gain from seeking grief support? What kind of things will you do for them?
So one, I think the idea is helping people recognize what it is that they're experiencing. Because in truth, sometimes you don't even know that what you're feeling is grief. You may be feeling just a general sense of disconnectedness. You may be feeling a sense of something's just off and not right. You may be in a place where you're extremely snappy at everybody and you can't put your finger on why that is. And you may be in a place where you actually just don't want to engage. And you're uncertain, even though your body may be healthy and everything may be okay at home, but you're just feeling like you're not wanting to engage. So what people can get when they connect with me is, one, helping you recognize what it is that you're feeling in all of its entirety, and then also what that's tied to. Because sometimes, like you said, people may be thinking, it may be that I've lost my job during this time of COVID. I've lost all those connections. I can't see and interact with people the same way I want to. But there may actually be something else as well that's tied to that. Maybe the time alone brings up old emotions from losses from before that you're just not able to articulate and put your finger on. And then, so once we actually can identify those things together, then we set a plan to walk through, because you can't really ever get over grief, right? It's not something that you actually get over those
No,
losses, but you
it
can get
isn't.
through it. And you learn strategies of how to identify how they trigger in you, and then how you can respond to them so that they're not negatively impacting your life.
I watched something once where they said you got to learn to stand in the emotion and get through it.
Mhm.
And that's the only way you're going to get through it. Um, Tell them, if you could just tell the community, what type of services do you offer? Like, I know you have the Remembering Mom program. What
Mhm.
other type of services do you offer?
So I have the Remember Our Moms program, which is specifically for women who have lost their mother or a mother figure in their lives. And then I also do one-on-one support services. And then I can also do either couples or groups. And now at this time, all of this will be practically virtual until we're in a place where we can all meet again.
This is
But
great.
those are the areas that I would say. And specifically for, adults over 17 and onward.
Okay, good, good, good. For anyone that's watching right now, just, what would you say to them, as they're watching? What if, what kind of experience, what kind of comment would you say to someone who lost a loved one or who have lost someone in their lives or a job? What would you say to them right now?
I would say, first of all, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Mhm.
Um, that can be a really tough thing. And then the second thing I would say is that whatever it is you're feeling, allow yourself the space to do that, and that there is no right or wrong way to grieve. So that whatever it is that you're feeling that you need to do, if it's to just stay quiet for a while and be at home, then let it be. And if you find yourself wanting to be out in nature more, then you flow with that. If you're finding that you're needing more physical connection and there are people in your circle that you can connect with on Zoom or by the phone, then do that. But most importantly, I would say that you don't have to go through this alone,
Alone.
that there are so many resources available. And unfortunately, when we're in that space of mourning something or someone, it feels like you're there by yourself, because the rest of the world seems to be going on doing their business. But in truth, there's many, many resources available to support you, so you don't have to go through it alone.
Christine, I just want to thank you so much for those words, because I personally can say sometimes when you speak and you open up and you start talking to people, to individuals, it's amazing what comes back, right? And if, just talking to a friend about a situation. So I'm going to, encourage you to contact Christine if you have any of those situations. But if you're not comfortable yet, I would say talk to someone, get it out, because I know it has helped me. And I know I've already said to Christine, sometimes you've spoken to your friends and you don't want to continue talking to them because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm still grieving. You want to deal with someone like Christine, who understands the process, and it's not going to and you're not going to feel, because I'm sure your friends and family don't feel this way, but you're not going to feel like, oh my gosh, I've been talking their ears off forever. So you want to be with someone who you can feel comfortable with, someone who you could just let your hair down. Yeah. Let your hair down and just be yourself, because this is what they do and they want to be there for you. So I'm going to ask Christine, because I know how to get in touch with you, but I'd love for my audience to know, how can they reach you if they're interested? Well, before you answer that, I would just like to say, actually, I'm going to let you finish and then I'll say this piece. How can they contact you?
Okay, so the best way to reach me would be to email me. I am Christine at yourgriefspecialist.com. So it's really plain and simple. And that way we can go from either setting up a time to connect and so forth. And then my website is coming up after. It'll be, yourgriefspecialist.com. But the quickest way, ping me, Christine at yourgriefspecialist.com.
Thank you so much, Christine. Oh my gosh. Wouldn't you guys agree out there that this was such an awesome interview? Didn't I tell you that Randolph has some good things happening here? And this young lady, as I said, she is here for us. I can tell you from firsthand knowledge that she cares very deeply. So if you're having a situation and you need to talk to someone, please reach out. You can reach Christine, as she says, is at yourgriefspecialist.com. You can also, the information for the interviews that I'm doing will also be on my page, JanelleStevensRealEstate.com. All of these interviews, small business interviews, will be on that page. So again, I'll say it as JANIL, last name Stevens, STEPHENS, realestate.com. You can also connect with me and you can call me. My number is out there. I can be reached at 617-459-1029. And if there's any one of you out there that needs a great real estate agent, here I am. All right. Thank you guys for spending the time with us. And I look forward to hearing from you. Next month, Christine, is a treat for everyone. Okay. Next month is Women's History Month. March is Women's History Month. So this is an interview that I'm doing once a month. However, because March is Women's History Month, I'll be doing a little something different. I'll be bringing something to you once a week, and we are going to be doing the Women of Stetson Hall. I got a treat for you. So last month, watch the interview from last month. We did some photographers here in Randolph. This month, we have our wonderful grief specialist. And next month, we're going to be doing the Women of Stetson Hall. Yes. There's some talent here in Randolph, and you got to stick around and watch these interviews. Again, it's going to be once a week for the whole month of March, but it'll be once a month going forward. Thank you for sharing your time with us. And thank you again, Christine, for giving me the opportunity to do this interview with you.
Thank you, Janelle. I appreciate it.